It is me, the infamous Kiki. Welcome to my channel. Just sitting around here relaxing in the boudoir, live from the boudoir. We're going to talk about, I'm just going to get right into it because I got something to do. We're going to talk about the announcement. I've been wanting to do this video for a few days. The announcement that Bumble is laying off. It was announced on Tuesday that the dating app Bumble, saying that it would be restructuring. It said it'll be laying off roughly 30% of their employees. Roughly, they have overnight almost 1,000 employees, so they'll be laying off roughly 350 employees, part of a restructuring plan for a more agile future. Bumble is an Austin-based company, and they reported increased revenue of paying users last year. However, the company is still reporting a net loss of $1.9 million. They did get a new CEO, and they said that they are struggling to entice new paying users, and so they were going to try to focus on younger users because apparently older users are not, they don't show much growth there. I will put some links to an article. Okay, and this is in Fortune that I'm reading, but it's also in Austin American Statements. I'm in Texas, so I found this very interesting. They are hiring a new team to overhaul things. Hello, GSP. What's up? Good morning. Good afternoon. So thanks everybody being here. Make sure you thumbs up. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. So, Bumble says they're hiring a new management team to oversee a major overhaul of the dating app in the second quarter. It's first in 2 years. So, they're going to try to redo the algorithm, they're going to try to redo the features, and there have been product features, numerous ones in the past 18 months, that have slowed overall app performance and cluttered user experience, says the CEO. I am on Bumble, and let me interject in saying that it is a cluttered hot mess on Bumble. And I noticed lately there's been so many pop-ups that come up talking about features. You should try premium, you should try this, you should try that, because they're trying to get you to pay. So I figured something was going on because I noticed in the past couple of months. Fabulous Me says, this topic keeps me loving up my husband. No way I consider starting over. Child, it's a hot mess and a shit show. So this is why I come on here and do these topics for the single and for you non-single people out there who think about leaving your husbands or wives. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't, because if you're in a toxic, unhappy relationship, I would say go ahead and make that move. And sometimes it's better to be single. But if you think that the grass is greener on the other side, I hate to be the one to come up here and say, well, I don't hate to be, but I'm just going to speak reality. Sometimes it's not. But if you're in an unhealthy, toxic relationship, I suggest you get out. If you complaining because your husband don't put the toilet seat down, or he put the toilet paper roll the way that you don't want them, or he put the toothbrush on the counter. You know how they set it on, they brush their teeth and it be wet, and then they still set it on the damn counter, and you're like, why are you even doing that? And he's like, I don't know, I was in a hurry. And you're like, oh my God. If he's shaving and there's hair in the sink, and you're like, I'm finna leave this mofo, I would probably say don't do it. But anyway, back to the article. Yeah, I remember them days when I was married, and my husband used to drive me like I'm a clean freak, y'all. So I just remember them days. So that was just me, a little personal interjection. But anyway, let me carry on. The CEO says we have a lot of users today that love the paradigm of online dating, but also a set of users that want more flexibility to be able to experience and discover people in a more organic and natural way. GSP says the toilet paper goes forward. See, I'm not going to argue about that. It goes backwards. Anyway, so they're going to redo the algorithms. And so that was Bumble on Tuesday. So they're laying off people. I feel bad for the people that's going to get laid off. I am so sorry. Being laid off is not good. Uh, I don't wish that on nobody. However, dating apps have last year, Hinge laid off a bunch of people, and they are talking about that Tinder is also thinking about redoing their algorithms and their website because apparently all of these dating apps are having problems having paid users. Fabulous Me says with the toilet paper debate, she just sets it on the roller. I have one of those, I have a thing that looks like a cat. So you don't really need to use the toilet paper. I have a thing that looks like a cat and it's a tail, and you put the toilet paper on the tail. Anyway, I'm sharing right now. Sorry. Sorry for the sidebar, but it's really cute. And so you can do it that way. But anyway, but all these dating apps, last year Hinge did layoffs. They're talking about Tinder doing layoffs. So these are the big three. So Hinge, Bumble, and Tinder are the big three dating apps in the United States and even worldwide. They're worldwide. So Bumble's laying off. They're announced layoffs in a couple of months. Hinge laid off people, and then Tinder is talking about all of these dating apps have not redone their algorithms and stuff probably in about 2 years, maybe more. Around the pandemic time, they really got an influx of people because people were at home. They had a flood of users. And about around 2 years ago, they messed everything up and they changed the algorithms. Hey Tiffany, hey Tiffany, what's up? Make sure y'all like, thumbs up the video, and share with your people. Like, if you gonna people out there who dating or think about dating or you want to date, make sure you share this video. So these dating apps are going broke. They a bunch of broke bitches, y'all. They losing money, and this just goes to show you and I and everybody else that dating apps today may not be a viable option, and we need something else. Now, dating apps to me are a trap. To me, they're there just for you to pay for features, and it's a trap. It's not there to you actually find somebody. Tiffany says during the pandemic, I was working and going to college. Oh, you were working and going to college during the pandemic. Well, I know a lot of people flooded the dating apps. I don't know whether that's good or that's bad, but hey, like I said, I'm on 3 dating apps right now, and I'm not paying for none of them. I don't do the pay features. I did do the day pay feature on Bumble for $4.99 where I could see all of my matches. And I got on here and did another video where I told y'all that most of my matches all lived in a different state or lived like 6 hours away from me. So it does me no good. I'm not looking for a long distance relationship. So y'all know what I went through. But if you work for one of these companies, I do apologize, but there's going to be more layoffs to come. Gen Z people under my age, they're they're not checking for dating apps. They said they're trying to do more to attract young people, like in their 20s, because most people in their 20s don't, they get on dating apps for a couple of months and then they bounce because it's not worth it. Um, they're talking about changing the algorithm. They're probably trying to add more pay features. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. So within the next couple of months, if you're on a dating app, these are the changes you should be expect to see. There's probably going to be more paid features. They're probably going to take away like the free swipes and narrow that down a little bit. Their goal is to get you to pay. Their goal is to get you to continuously to pay. Their goal is not to match anybody. I know for Hinge and Bumble for a fact that they hide people's profiles. They hide the people who get the most likes or clicks or views. They hide the people who are most attractive. They put them in a premium spot where you have to buy a super chat or a rose or something. They do that. I know people who I've gotten super swipes all of a sudden from Bumble. And then I asked the guy, I was like, why are you super swiping on me? And they're like, oh, because your profile is in the premium thing. And I'm like, mm-hmm. And this is like the third or fourth time I've been on Bumble in a year that people super swipe me. And I asked why. And they're like, because your profile is in the premium thing. So if your profile, they're always slotting your profile to where people have to pay to swipe on you. I would see that as the reason why some people get on there and they're like, why don't I have that many matches or swipes or likes or whatever? It's because they're putting your profile in a thing to entice new users and entice people to pay. And that's happened to me. Like I said, personally, I know my profile was put in there on Bumble at least 3 or 4 times in the past year. So it's just a way to get money. And I don't have the answers for y'all. Like I don't have the answers to tell y'all what we're gonna do. I mean, there's speed dating out there. I did speed dating years and years and years ago, and I did not like it. I mean, that might be an option to try it again. They do have speed dating events. Everybody locally check those out. Meetup. They still. I mean, we have meetup groups in Dallas. Um, Tiffany says most of our generation are going to be more skeptical about going on dating apps because some people are criminals. Some and dope fiends. There are a lot of dope fiends and criminals on dating apps. Like I hate to tell y'all that, but there's a lot of scammers. So um, Fabulous Me has a question from an older woman. I'm an older woman too, Fabulous Me. I'm old as hell. Are the sites safer than they were back in the 90s? I would say no, because okay, the reason why I say that is you really have to keep your head on a swivel on a dating app. Not just besides the scammers. If you're talking about personal safety, I feel like you can be safe on a dating app, but you have to be smart. Like there are people out there who are going to people's houses and meeting them. And like I said before in my other videos, that's dumb. Don't go to nobody's house. Don't tell nobody where you live and go to their house alone if you barely know this person. I said it before on my video of who the fuck did I marry when I broke that down. I said she messed up because first of all, I'm not going to nobody's house or having relations with anybody. If I'm gonna date you, I'm gonna do a background check. It's easy to do a background check. You don't need the person's social. All you need the person's the first and last name and date of birth, and you can do a preliminary. And then if you want to pay a little bit, like $7 to do a comprehensive deep dive, then yeah. But I mean, whether it's safer, I would say no because back in when I started, I've been on dating apps for 10 years, y'all. Off and on for 10 years. 10 years, a decade. So I started when dating apps were just little babies. They were in the infancy. And there were actually real people on there who really wanted to meet people, and there weren't that many people on there. Now there, depending on what city you live in a bigger city, there are hundreds and thousands of people on these dating apps. Back in the day when I was on AOL chat, when Tinder first started, when POF, Plenty of Fish first, I was on Plenty of Fish when it first started. There wasn't that many people on there. There was like a couple of hundred, maybe. Now there's thousands of people in the Dallas area that are on these apps, and some of these people then got hip. I mean, there's all kinds of. I hate to say this, like hookers. I mean, there are women. I'm not trying to judge them, but there are working girls on there. They're trying to get you to go to their webcam. They're soliciting services. You know what kind of services I'm talking about? I'm talking about getting it in services. They're soliciting those kind of. There's all types of people on these dating apps. There are people trying to sell you stuff for their businesses. There are adult film stars. There's people doing OF. Like there's all kinds of people on here now trying to make a buck and trying to realize that they can use a dating app as a way to come up and get their hustle on. And I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at nobody getting the bag, y'all. Don't get me wrong. But for people who are sincere, yeah, I remember POF back in 2004. For people who are sincerely trying to meet somebody, I'm not trying to scam nobody. I'm not trying to get nobody to come on my YouTube channel. I don't even give these mofos my YouTube channel. But I'm not trying to get followers on Snapchat or nothing like that. Like, I'm not on OnlyFans. I'm really trying to meet somebody. So you have a bunch of people who are just bored. You have a bunch of people who are just checking it out. There's a bunch of people that are cheating, who have girlfriends and wives and boyfriends. Yes, boyfriends. Yes, honey, boyfriends on there. Because I've had one call me talking about why you talking to my man. But you have a bunch of people on there that are not serious, that are using dating apps like social media. People are using dating apps like their Twitter, like something to do. Just something I can scroll through when I'm bored at work, or I'm sitting at home, or my girl is away. I'll just use this to scroll. I mean, this is what we're dealing with now. When I was on dating apps, people really wanted to be on dating apps. There's no way that anybody would go through and fill out a profile and do pictures because back in the day, it was hard. We didn't have smartphones that had all this. It took you so I remember back in the day when I started a POF in adult a POF profile back in the day, it was hard because y'all know back in the day we didn't have Wi-Fi, wasn't good, the connection was slow. Sometimes it would get you out like you. I physically had to get on a computer, y'all, and fill out my profile. Like they didn't even have an app. You had a website to go to back in the day. POF, it was a website. OK Cupid was a website back in the day, y'all. Interracial romance was a website. We didn't have apps that came in later. So you actually had to get on your computer and take time and effort, download pictures, send pictures to your email, download those pictures off of your email. And Wi-Fi was slow back then. Set up a profile and check your profile through the computer, through your desktop, not your laptop, because we laptops wasn't all that 10 years ago. Through your desktop, they all had websites like www dot whatever. That's how it started. And so you had to be really motivated and be serious, because checking these messages weren't like you could just pop out your phone and pick up an app and you get a notification. No, honey. You had to actually, you get an email saying you got a message, and you would get excited. You would get excited because you're like, oh my God, I got an email. So you would go check your email. And then you would go to the site and see that you had a message. And it started out that all of this was free. And so as time went on, um, people really had to be wanting to meet somebody, because at that point, you're like, I really want to meet somebody. I'm checking my emails. I'm on my computer. I'm using my dial-up. Some of us had dial-up back in the day, girl. Come on now, y'all stop playing with me. Some of us had dial-up. And so it was really a labor of love to get on a dating app. And then there's the stigma of it all. Like, you couldn't tell nobody that you met somebody on OkCupid or POF. You couldn't tell nobody, because people would be like, "What? What is that? What is that?" People look at you crazy. So you kind of had to keep it hush hush and lie to them about where you met them. But yeah, that's how it used to go back in the day. Yeah, taking your pictures, and it took forever to load. So it really was something that you would put a lot of energy into. And so therefore, it wasn't something you just did because you sitting around eating dinner and you're bored. It wasn't a boredom thing. It's like you had to sit down, you remember when we used to, remember back in the day, like over 10 years ago, remember them computers back in the day, like when you had them desktop computers, and they had to log up, and then you turn it on, and it'd be like rah, 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 and then the music would come on, doo, 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 and then it had to load. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that back in the day when the computer had to load? I mean, now I just come to my laptop, I hit the space bar, and I put in my pen, and it's like boom. But back in the day, girl, you had to push the button. You had to okay, let me make sure the Wi-Fi is plugged in, because the Wi-Fi had to plug into the computer. It wasn't like wireless. You had to make sure the internet was plugged in. You had to sit there, and it'd be like rah, 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 and then the blue screen would come up, rah, 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 and then it'd be like doom, 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 doom. And then the screen would pop up, and then the Microsoft had to load. So y'all remember, y'all old school. Come on now, y'all. GSP and Tiffany and Fabulous Me, y'all know y'all old school. Y'all remember them old school computers? They would take a while to boot up, and so you had to really do a lot to get on these computers. That's how dating app was for me when I first started. And I tell y'all the story. I met my late husband on Lava Life, a phone chat thing where you talk to people on the phone. Well, you didn't even see these people. You don't know what you get. These motherfuckers can be a serial killer. Okay, that's how I met my husband. And a lot of guys. So that's how it was back in the day. Now, with everything's being so convenient and easy, and people just being very flippant about it, you have people that will go on there and just, you know, check they messages once or twice, and that's it. And let me tell you something about dating apps. A lot of times, the profiles that you see on there, you don't know how long has it been since they've been online. They don't really tell you that. So what they do is, if you don't specifically go after you delete your profile, because people be like, okay, I'm done without deleting my profile. You have to send an email to their customer service to get them to delete your data. Because whenever you sign up and they have all that legalese, and you click okay, you check the box and click okay, in that legalese, they have it to where they can still use your data in your profile to advertise, and they can still put the profile on there. Like, you may have deleted it, but the data is still there. So if they need to bring in other users, they will still keep your data, y'all, on these dating apps. So I tell people, when you go on there and you're like, I'm done with this app, I'm gonna delete my profile, make sure you please send an email to them telling them to delete your information, because they are, unless you specifically say that, they legally can keep your information on there, and they use it to boost their numbers. Like, you go on some dating apps and they brag that, oh, we got 100,000 users and a million users. When's the last time that people logged in? Some people don't even delete their profiles. They just like, oh, I'm tired of it, and they just leave it. And then people's profiles will come up months and years later. Like, and you'll be like, I swear I deleted it, and turn out they don't. But they'll keep having your profile in the rotation, baby. You still be in the rotation. If these dating apps are pretty much pimping y'all. Like they pimping y'all information, they're using y'all information, and they will if you don't delete and tell them to wipe the data, they'll keep your profile up there. Especially if you kind of cute, they're because they want to boost their numbers. And if they boost their numbers when they go before the shareholders, they can brag and say, "Oh, we have 1 million users." Okay, but how many are really active users? A lot of dating apps, they don't have that. When's the last time this person logged in? You could be sending somebody a message or swiping on them. Girl, child, I didn't see people's profiles when they was talking about 2022 in their profile. I didn't see people's profile when they were talking about the damn pandemic. I was like, they were like, well, COVID, I got to wear my mask, I guess. And I'm thinking like, when's the last time he updated his profile? And then I sit there and think, wait a minute. It is probably somebody started a profile 2020, never deleted it, and they still will put it in the rotation. So don't let dating apps do that to you. If y'all done with them, delete your profile and go. But these dating apps are there to try to get your money. They're not trying to help you find love. If you do find love, then that's great. But yes, GSP said when the farmer dating app came out, it was all new to me. Yeah, they have dating apps for everything out there now. I mean, they get the farmers, and they have Christian dating apps. They have a bunch of those. They even have a Jehovah's Witness dating app, believe it or not, y'all. But Jehovah's Witnesses, the Watchtower tried to get this shut down. But anyway, um, but I just tell people that like these dating apps they're laying off people and they're going broke. So, and the reason why they're doing is because people are not checking it. People don't want to pay. People are not checking it for more. I feel like this is a time for a revolution, y'all. I feel like this is our time. I feel like, this is our time to get things changed. My suggestion for dating apps, my big brain suggestion, and with technology, we can do it. I suggested, my big suggestion is that whenever you're sending an initial message, stop it to where you can type a message, have it to where you can only send video messages. That's what I've said long time ago. Now I know some dating apps have that as an option, but they should eliminate the typing altogether. You should be forced to send a video app. I'm sorry, a video message or a voice message. That's my thing, and it'll eliminate scammers. It'll eliminate catfishers. It'll eliminate all of them. Have these people be required to do a real-time video and send it to somebody. Not a video they can upload, not a video. Like I said, they have video options on these dating apps. Eliminate the chat feature. Either they got to send a voicemail or voice message or video. Would that not stop people from catfishing and people from playing on these apps? I'm all for that. I'm all for them doing this. So I know reason why they won't do it is because they know that's going to eliminate a lot of people from coming to their apps. But these apps pretend that they want to help people, but I would pay for that. If you have a dating app that really would eliminate fakers and spammers, I believe that there is a market for that out there. I believe that there is a lot of people, especially women, especially older women like me, who would easily pay for that. We would easily pay for that. I would easily pay for an app where all you can do is send voice and video. Because a lot of older people, male and female, we like voice chat. We like to talk to somebody over the phone. I don't want to just text message you. I don't want to get another message talking about, hey, what are you doing? How you doing? What's up? I don't want that. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear what your voice sounds like. I want to hear are you articulate with your words? That's what I want to hear. So eliminate the text. Eliminate all of that. Eliminate all of that. If you could just eliminate that part, like you can put a text in your profile, but then when you're first sending a message, you have to send voice or a video. A video. And a video that you got to upload right then, right there. Because again, if you look like your pics, it shouldn't be a problem. If you are who you say you are, it shouldn't be a problem. That will stop people from catfishing, stop people from kitten fishing. If y'all don't know what kitten fish is when people upload pictures of them like 10, 15, 20 years ago. And then they try to pretend it's them. I didn't see people upload Polaroid pics. I didn't see people upload all kinds of pics that I know. I'm like, okay, that hairstyle was in the 1990s, damn it. Like, I know that this is not them. People will upload, especially older people, will upload pictures of them 10, 15, 20 years ago and be like, yeah, that's me. And I'll be like, okay, that's not. I've had that. I've been on dates with dudes where they didn't send old ass pictures, and I'm just like, I don't even have any old pictures of me. like maybe on my walls of me and my kids, but I don't know why people do that, and people try to get over it. You should be proud of who you are and be honest with who you are, because I'm telling you right now, there's some people that ain't got time for all that. I don't have time for all that. So I think they're going to try to tamper with the algorithm, and they're going to try to add more features, and they're going to try to nickel and dime you for every damn little thing. And the thing about it is, it's not going to work because people are fed up and tired of being ghosted and scammed on dating apps. I'm tired of people not replying to messages. I'm tired of me talking to people and then they disappear. I'm tired of going on dates with people and they don't look like they pictures, or they be like, oh yeah, and by the way, blah blah blah, and oh yeah, by the way, I just got out of halfway house. Oh yeah, by the way, I just got out of jail. Nobody ain't got time for that. So it would be better if they scrutinize. And I'm telling you, when I tell people I've been on dating apps, they're elite ones. There's like Millionaire Match. I've been on that one. It was a bunch of skeevy old people. Now look, I'm not trying to hate on the old people. Look, I'm not an ageist, a sexist, a racist, or a homophobe. But I'm just gonna tell you right now. But I do not want to be with no 65, 70-year-old man. I look. If you old enough to be my daddy or old enough old to be my daddy, I'm not trying to be with Papa. I'm not trying to be with Papa. Tiffany said people on dating apps lie straighter than rugs. They do. And I'm honest. Like I'll be like trying to tell people, okay, I'm very honest. Like I'm like, I have a whole damn YouTube channel. I tell some guys sometimes. And they were like, what's your YouTube channel? It's like, I ain't gonna tell you, I gotta really know you before you be on my channel. But I'm the most transparent, realist person that you will probably ever know. I can say that. Because there's nothing for me to hide. Like all my demons and all my faults are out there because there's nothing that I'm embarrassed about. I live a normal life. I'm not out here trying to scam nobody, trying to hurt nobody. I'm not out here lying to nobody. I'm not out here sneaking behind people's back and cheating on people. I'm not out here saying I got this and I got that and I ain't got nothing. I, I don't lie about who I am. There's no need for me to lie. There's no need for me to be scamming and lying to people. And there's plenty of women and men out there that feel that way. But my point is that people write it in their profiles talking about, oh, I'm looking for somebody real and I'm looking for somebody, but then they don't want to put any effort. And that's another thing on dating apps. Nobody wants to put any effort. So them trying to make it more user friendly and easier and better for Gen Z or Gen FE. I don't know what gen we are right now. But them trying to make it easier, I'm like, they're missing the mark. The point is not to make the apps easier and more features and more technologically jumbled and advanced. No, the point is to try to streamline and make it simple and make it work. That's the point, to make it work. Make it more conducive for people to meet up. I know some of these dating apps have like in-person meetups. I've been to some. What was it, Hinge or Hilly? I think Hilly had on-person meetups, and every time we go to on-person meetups, it'd be a bunch of females. It'd be a bunch of women. Like I'm not. When I did speed dating years ago, it was a bunch of women. Maybe it's just the area that I live in, but there wasn't that many men there at all. It was a bunch of women. So what's the point of me going to speed dating or going to these dating events and there's like 30 women and like five guys? Like what's the point? Like men who complain so much about being lonely, about not having anybody, and there's incels and there's angry men out here talking about, they can't find women. But to me, my issue is, how much effort are you putting into it? That to me, like, just seems like a lot of people, male and female, old and young, don't want to put any real effort into finding someone. And then everybody just wants to sit around and bitch and moan about it. I put in effort. I'm on 3 different dating apps. When I get up in the morning, I check my dating apps. I go through each one of them and go through, like, I put in effort because, number one, I'm a type A personality. Like, if you would know me in real life, you be like, yeah, you that person. Kiki is that girl. I'm that girl all day. I'm the girl who's sitting here scrubbing my baseboards with a toothbrush. I'm the one that's cleaning her car every other day. I'm the one at work that gonna rattle off 16 spreadsheets before noon. That's just my energy. My energy is go, 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 overdo it. I'm a thorough type A personality. I'm very detailed oriented. That's why I'm in accounting, and I'm very precision and precise about what I do. And if I'm gonna do something, I'm not gonna half-ass nothing. You can ask my kids. Like whenever they had to do like any kind of school project or something, they would groan because they know their mother was going to take over it and she was going to just take over the whole damn thing. And they're just going to stand there like, Mom, are you done? And I'd be like, no, baby, just one more touch. I'm that kind of parent. So whenever I do something, I do it. I do it big. So, but that's me. But most people online are like, I'll get around to calling her. Yeah, I'll get around to texting. And I don't want to be with, I need somebody that's like me. I don't need somebody that's going to be very like milk toast and very like, well, if I get on the dating app, I do. If I find somebody, I do. I don't. And then sit around and bitch about why they're single. I, I, I'm putting in earnest effort not to be single. But I'm not going to date just anybody now. But I'm putting in effort where it counts. And I scrutinize people heavily. I scrutinize who I talk to, who I don't talk to, because I know what I'm looking for. There are a bunch of people online who don't know what they're looking for. There are a bunch of people online who just take anybody because they don't want to be lonely and they don't want to be alone. So they'll just take whoever likes them. And even if they have nothing in common with this person or lifestyle or values, they'll take up with the person. I don't want a person like that either. I want somebody I can share my life, my values, my lifestyles, my ideals, my creativity. I can share with. We don't have to have the same interests or the same ideas, but I need somebody that's open minded. And for God's sakes, I need someone who's honest and puts in effort. So until dating apps figure out how to narrow it down, not by Myers Briggs personality tests, not by these stupid, insipid quizzes. I hated eHarmony and Match.com because you had to fill out these long winded quizzes and with all this data. And I'm like, what are you doing with this data? Like, I think that they're using the data and selling the data, but they ask all these questions. And I'm just like, okay, that's not going to help me find a better match. Me telling them, what kind of music I like and what kind of pasta I eat. I mean, it ain't got nothing to do with nothing. So I want these dating apps to go broke because I want change. I don't want the algorithms to become more specialized. I want real change, real change. And hopefully it'll change it for the better, but I don't know. Bye, Tiffany. Okay, your battery's going low. Girl, go put it on the charger. Bye, Tiffany. Thank you. And GSP says my son 19, his generation old school. Picket fences and 2.5 kids. They don't use those apps. I can't ever see my kids when they get older using a dating app. I would tell them don't do it. Because it's not conducive. Um, but for some of us, it's like where are we gonna meet any people? You get to the age where you don't go to clubs, you don't go to house parties. I don't go to church. I don't belong to, I may need to put in more effort that way. I agree. But for an introvert like me, who's a technophile, I love technology. Y'all know I be fighting in these streets about AI. People be talking bad about AI. I'm like, don't you talk about AI. Don't you talk about AI. What you got to say about AI? What's up? What's up? Who said that? I be going in about AI. I be defending AI so bad. People be thinking I'm a bot. They be like, you're not real. I was like, bitch, I am real. I'm a human being. But I love technology. So it's sad that in this day and age where we're so technologically savvy and heavy that we still have not figured out this dating app thing. And like I said, it's because they don't want to. They want you and I to spend more money. And I'm tired and I don't want to spend no money. And like I said, I've been on Millionaire Match, a bunch of 67-year-olds. What else was I doing? I've also been on the league. I was on a waiting list for the league. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna do a whole video about the league because the league is like the dating app for like rich people supposedly or people who make six figures and up, and you have to be on a waiting list and they have to scrutinize you, and then you pay like $200-300 a month just depending on what features you want to be in the league. And the league was disastrous, and it did nothing for me in my area. Like if you live in LA or New York or California or maybe, but in Texas again, the same people who are on Millionaire Match was on the league, and it's a bunch of older guys. It wasn't. I mean, first of all, I date younger anyway. So, but yes, on the league, it was a bunch of dudes. Um, it was few of them that were in their 30s and 40s, but most of the people in my area in the league and they were made good money, but yeah, the league has a waiting list. Like you have to sign up and you have to get on a waiting list. And then you have to fill out all this information. They have to scrutinize you. And then I was on like a 4 to 6 month waiting list to be on the league. Like, and the thing about it is, there's not even that many people on there. They just do that on purpose to make it seem exclusive. And then you pay like, I think it was like 199 a month. And after the first month, I had the same experience that I had on the other dating apps. I had the same experience. But yeah, the league, they look at your LinkedIn, they look at your social media, they ask you where you work, what kind of work you do. I'm surprised they didn't ask me for my tax form. I wouldn't have gave them all that. But yeah, and then um you have, ways of them saying how, if you got at least make six figures and up. But I know some people on there that didn't know, so I don't know how. I don't know. I think they just select whoever they want to select by how attractive you are. Because there were some men on there that I know did not make no six figures. They didn't, and they still got on there. But I'm not saying the guys on there were attractive, but the guys on the league weren't my type here. Like maybe if I lived in Austin or something, but they weren't my type, and I wasn't going to spend $200 a month for a bunch of 60, 70-year-old guys or um, a bunch of conservative businessman type. That doesn't vibe with me. So if you're a woman and you looking to find a rich man, then league probably would vibe with you. Like there are women on there, I'm sure, that are looking to find any kind of man that can take care of them or wine them and dine them and all that. I'm not looking for that. So y'all know how I feel. I'm not materialistic. That doesn't impress me. I'm looking for quality and character and personality and compatibility. And those men on there, although they were successful and driven and rich, they just, a lot of them just weren't my vibe. I'm very artsy fartsy, so my vibe is very artistic. But that's all I came in here to say. That these, dating apps are going broke, and I hope they go broke. And I wish they would change things, and I wish they would make you send videos for every message, because I'm not scared. I throw on my wig and put my eyeliner on. Um, GSP said a 70-year-old man with a Corvette. No thanks. Exactly. Like I want to say, like I'm not trying to date my pawpaw. Like, oh hey dad, I'm not trying to date somebody older to be my father. So 70, you older to be my daddy. So like I'm not attracted to older men. That's another thing too. And then, but that's just me. Like it may work for some of y'all, but I got off of those, and that was like months and like a year ago. Like when I first got on dating apps, I was like, let me try this one. And got on the league, and I was like, child, I'm 200 $200 a month for that. New. So, these dating apps are all going broke. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see dating apps merge too. If you see a few of them merge together, the smaller ones. Because I know if the big three, I know if Bumble, Hinge, and Tinder are struggling and they're laying off people, then I know the smaller ones are struggling. I know OK Cupid and POF. I don't know what their overhead is and how much staff they have, but they all these dating apps have staff. So I know if these bigger ones are struggling, then I know the smaller ones are struggling too. Um, because there's advertising costs and there's costs to these computer systems and staffing. And I know some of these smaller ones, they don't have a large staff of people, but I know if the big ones are struggling and the small ones are really struggling. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see some mergers, or some dating apps just go away. Back to the Craigslist back page. Craigslist got rid of the back page, girl. They got rid of that. But I wish there was more innovative. And I tell people I'm gonna do a video about how other countries do dating, because other countries, there is a big heavy market for matchmaker services that here it's not really that big. Like matchmaker services was good like back in the 80s and the 90s before the internet. But in other countries worldwide, matchmaker, they're like a million, like 10, 20, $30 million industry in a lot of Asian and a lot of European countries. Like they have professional matchmakers matching people up. And people have told me you should go to a professional matchmaker. I've heard people say that all the time. But I don't know. You have to, I mean, they are costly, but I would really have to see, because when I looked into one years and years ago, years and years, and I'm sure things have changed, but years and years ago, before I met my late husband, I thought about doing a professional matchmaker, and they didn't have anything for me. So, but now there's all different types of matchmakers. Um, Especially as a black woman back in the day, they didn't have too much for me in options. and people weren't checking for me like that back in the day. But I if I do that, I'll come back and report to y'all. But I've thought about it. I really have looked up a few, and some of them have a good reputation and good reviews. So I might check that out this year. 2024, child, we doing something new this year, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing something new. So I might look into doing speed dating and matchmaking, and then I will come back and report to y'all what has happened and see how maybe that may work better for me. But anyway, I gotta go. My son gotta get dropped off. And I just thought I'd just jump on here real quick because I've been wanting to do this video all week and just got distracted with other things. So y'all check it out. Y'all, like I said, I'm gonna leave links in the description to the article, a few of the articles that I read. If I didn't already do that, I don't know. I just clicked on here real quick. But anyway, y'all have a great Saturday. And I will be back some other time. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. Bye. Bye, 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 Miss American Pie.